Real Enigmas and Theories is back again with another video. Hey yo, what a brilliant way to promote a conspiracy theory movie. You take the supporting lead, who's the most famous actor, say that he's come down with a mysterious medical condition while filming a movie. You even include some rumors about a controversial pokey poke that may have caused the mysterious illness. Then you toss in some pictures that support the cloning rumors while releasing a movie entitled They Cloned Tyrone. Quick disclaimer, I don't know for sure that Jamie Foxx faked an illness to promote a movie, but I am glad to see that he's doing well and he's in good spirits. I'm just somebody who loves theories and exploring different perspectives. I also loathe the term conspiracy theories, which is a gaslighting terminology to discredit anyone who questions a quote official narrative. But that's a whole nother video for a whole different channel. I just view myself as a comprehensive thinker or a critical thinker. I'm open to indulge in different perspectives, and the timing of these rumors, along with the subject matter of the movie, does leave room for such a marketing ploy. I did say it was brilliant, very sinister, but equally brilliant. Also, I'd like to say that this movie is a great movie. It's a brilliant movie. I suggest you watch it if you haven't seen it. Let me get one more thing out the way before we get started, and that's the cloning rumors. Based on photos and videos released of Jamie Foxx, I don't believe he was cloned in real life. First of all, this is the picture that many took to the internet thinking that someone was trying to pass this guy off as Jamie Foxx, but it's actually his stunt double. Too many trolls out there. The other thing is the Instagram video that Jamie released thanking everyone for the well wishes, and he also addressed the cloning rumor. People are comparing previous photos of Jamie, saying that something doesn't look right with this photo here. And I admit, his face does look longer, his complexion is lighter, and it doesn't look like the Jamie Foxx that you're probably used to seeing. And I have to agree that at first glance, I can understand why somebody would think that this is two different people. However, with my experience with photography, video, graphic design, lenses, and lighting, I know that cameras can distort the features of a subject depending on the width of the lens angle and also distance and lighting. Not to mention, the brother said he was sick, so that could also affect your complexion. And even if it was a marketing ploy, I'm sure that he was inside not getting as much sun while laying low. Either way, these two pictures are of the same person. Here's a couple other examples how lenses and distance can distort the features of a person. We see the same thing here with Jamie. Cell phone cameras tend to take a wider angle. And if you look at other pictures from Jamie Foxx's Instagram from before, you can see the same phenomenon here. So now that we've gotten that out the way, let's dive into this great addition to the conspiracy genre that is called They Cloned Tyrone. So this movie takes place in an ambiguous time period in what seems to be a small town in Georgia. However, it appears to be more like a government facility, complete with their own license plates and underground laboratories. Certain key residents have been cloned by the government to run experiments on the other people in the town. The purpose of these experiments is to ultimately change or assimilate the black people and their phenotype to appear more white and act more white for whatever reason. Our main characters think that white people are responsible for this nefarious engagement. However, by the end, they realize that it is one of their own who is the intricate part in pulling the strings the entire time. But we'll get to that. Our main character, Fontaine, played by John Boyega, wakes up every day with the same routine of buying a 40 ounce of Anaconda malt liquor, a pack of Swishers, and a lottery ticket. As he leaves the store, he scratches off a losing ticket and shares some of his 40 ounce with an old head sitting in front of the store. This old head's name is Frog, and he keeps a cup and spouts cryptic messages in the form of vague phrases. I think this old man is a figment of Fontaine's imagination, but we'll get to that later. On this particular day, Fontaine runs into a young boy who he's employed to be an informant concerning rival dope boys on his turf. Oh yeah, Fontaine's a drug dealer. The informant points out one of the rival dope boys on the set making money. And before robbing him of his money and his firearm, Fontaine runs over him with his car and breaks his leg. Afterwards, Fontaine goes about his regular routine to the store, and then he makes his way home. He fixes a snack, and then he goes to see if his mother is hungry. They have a conversation through the door and never see each other's face or make eye contact. And she says she's good because she just went to Josephine's fish fry and was still full. Him and his mother speaking through the door set my spidey senses off right away.
Doesn't make your spidey senses tingle? My spidey senses, oh, they tingling and shit.
Then we see an advertisement for the goddamn chicken restaurant. That's right, it's called the goddamn chicken restaurant. The ad looks like a cross between Dan's Flick and the Pork Chops and Chunky commercial.
I'm hungrier than five.
Well, who are you and what you doing in my house, Jack?
I wait for Pork Chops or Chunky. Whether you're black or a hunky or in between, you'll love Pork Chops or Chunky.
Man, that's me. So what's in this stuff?
Hey, nothing but pork.
Wow, well, right on there.
Man, what call?
Pork chops so chunky, taste real good, will make your mouth smell funky, yeah.
We then see Fontaine cross paths with Yo-Yo the Hoe, played by Monica Rambeau. Teyana Paris. He was on his way to collect delinquent funds from Jamie Foxx's character, Slick Charles. Slick Charles is Fontaine's childhood friend who's also a pimp. After Fontaine takes his money from Slick Charles, he then gets caught slipping by the rival dope boy who he ran over, and he's gunned down while he's sitting in the driver's seat. And then boom, this is how the average hood movie ends. But all of this happened within the first 15 minutes. So Fontaine wakes up back at home and starts his usual routine. We see him at the store again buying the same items, and we see him do his libation ritual with the old head outside. Frog says straighter is greater, referencing a slogan of one of the experimental products that is sold to the residents in this experiment. There are several products used on the test subjects, and we'll talk more about them later. Fontaine then sees a man in the distance who has blood on his shirt and is kidnapped by some individuals in a black SUV. That man was the previous Fontaine that was shot the night before, but he doesn't really realize that. Something then prompts Fontaine to go back to Slick Charles and collect the money he collected the night before. And from there, Finn, Ray, and Monica Rambeau find a trap house with that same SUV that Fontaine saw abduct the man on the street. So they put off the Slick home invasion, only to find an empty house that actually has like a mysterious break room. They also find an elevator to an underground laboratory where Fontaine sees his dead clone, and the journey begins to find out what's happening in this town that they call home. They Cloned Tyrone is definitely a great contribution to the conspiracy genre. The comedy and acting is top-notch and is a definite hood classic, and at the very least one of Netflix's best movies. The different subliminal yet not subliminal messages hit hard and didn't wait for you to recover before dropping another bombshell of subtle references that help push the story forward. For instance, the straighter is greater phrase being a reference to the Perms, and the preacher played by David Allen Greer serving his congregation the grape drink. Also, the restaurant putting a cocaine-like substance on the chicken and the Anaconda malt liquor. All of these products had a mind control effect on the user. They even showed how they were developing music to make the residents more docile. These cancerous products, coupled with the cancerous behavior of the occupants, lend a strong message about the realities in our communities and serve a powerful reminder that we are all accountable for our own actions and choices. Here's why I think the old head was a figment of Fontaine's imagination. We find out that the possible original Fontaine was one of the puppeteers and responsible for creating the clones. It seems that he was gathering data from these experiments to market products to consumers all over the country. He appeared to be around the same age as the old head from the store, Frog. We also learned that Fontaine had a memory of his brother who had been killed by a police officer. And while it wasn't a part of his actual experience, the elder Fontaine inserted this memory into his clone. I think that he may have also inserted the memory of an old friend whose image is of his actual age. I'll do you one even better by saying that the old head at the store is actually the memory version of the real Slick Charles. The age in the libation ritual is a dead giveaway. Every time Fontaine pours into the old man's cup, it is symbolic of pouring out libation for dead homies. Fontaine and Charles knew each other since childhood, and we know the real Fontaine was at least in his 70s. Lastly, the elder Fontaine revealed his plan to convert the phenotype of his subjects to appear to look more white. And we see this in the bodyguard clone, Chester, who's actually a Fontaine clone with straight hair. We can also see the intended progression of Fontaine from the prototypes in the back while the elder and Fontaine speaks. The whole time, the team was under the impression that the guys underground were white when they were actually successful clones who had been turned white. I wasn't really digging the colorism in that message, but you can't win them all, right? There was a lot of hidden stuff in here. I didn't get a chance to put it all in this video, so I think I'm gonna do a part 2 on this one. Just a little something to think about while we wait on the next episode. That's all for my video today. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.